Mysterious code in ancient Assyrian temples can finally be explained. An ancient pictorial code that has intrigued experts for over a century may have been interpreted fully for the first time, giving us further insight into the mighty Assyrian Empire that stretched across large parts of the Middle East from the 14th to 7th centuries BC. In particular, these symbols relate to King Sargon II, who ruled from 721 to 704 BC. In their short form, they comprise a lion, a fig tree, and a plow. In their longer form, there are 5 symbols in sequence: a bird and a bull after a lion, then the tree and the plow. These images appear in several places in temples in Dur Sarukin, which was briefly Assyria's capital. The buried ruins of ancient city were excavated during the 19th and 20th century. And the meaning of the images, whether they represent gods, supernatural forces, the king's authority, or an attempt at Egyptian hieroglyphs, has long been debated. This region of the world, which includes present-day Iraq and parts of Iran, Turkey, and Syria, is often referred to as the cradle of civilization, says Assyriologist and historian Martin Worthington from Trinity College Dublin in Ireland. It's where cities and empires were born, and its story is a huge part of human history, he says. Worthington has pulled together the clues to conclude that these pictures sought out Sargon's name, an idea first proposed but not explored in 1948. He expands on the suggestion by showing the symbols could also reference star constellations, the intent being to pay respect to the sovereign king by writing out his name in the stars and associating him with the gods. Importantly, the interpretation holds for both the long and short forms of this graphical code. While previous theories have suggested the icons might refer to the king and to the night sky, not least because of the blue and yellow colors they were sometimes depicted in, this is the first research to systematically pull together these ideas. Worthington goes into detail in explaining the languages used, how, for example, the Assyrian word for tree sounds similar to jaw, which is the name of a constellation the people of the time would have been familiar with. And what's more, these constellations were linked to ancient gods, further respecting Sargon. The effect of the 5 symbols was to place Sargon's name in the heavens for all eternity, a clever way to make the king's name immortal, says Worthington. And of course, the idea of bombastic individuals writing their names on buildings is not unique to ancient Assyria. Symbols of placing lions would also have spelled out Sargon's name in ancient Assyria, as well as having strong connections to royal figures, further confirming the link to the longer version of the visual code. Although they might have now receded into the ancient past, Mesopotamian civilizations were hugely significant in number in many aspects of human history, meaning an improved understanding of how they lived, thought, and ruled is valuable. The fact it works for both the 5-symbol sequence and the 3-symbol sequence, and that the symbols can also be understood as culturally appropriate constellations, strikes me as highly suggestive, says Worthington. The odds against it all being happenstance are, forgiven the pun, astronomical, he said. Now, the research has been published in Bulletin of American Society of Overseas Research, and this is on Science Alert by David Neild. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.